nurture coming through. I look at you and wonder if that's true. Coming through, I look at you and wonder if that's true.
It is Easter, and Easter is pagan. How are you doing this evening, brother?
Doing the best that I can. We got new stuff to share, right?
Yeah, we're going to be going through some eclipse updates. So we're getting pretty close now, everybody, where we're in the 10-day window where you can start paying attention to the weather where you're going to be at. We've started doing that, and the forecast is not looking good. So we're going to be talking about that and what that means as far as preparations are concerned. Plus, we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of other headlines that are wrapping into this, like CERN and these 3 rockets that NASA is supposed to be launching and some other stuff. What do you say?
Yeah, touch on a few different topics as well as what's going on at the Vatican. A couple updates on the cargo crash, the bridge being taken down, and just a general update. And we're here. We're trying to make as much content and reach as many people as possible.
Yeah, and it's not easy. It really isn't. But we're going to do everything that we can to persevere and just like you're saying, keep putting the content out as best we can. And, who knows? We're also going to be talking about how this Sabbath of the Red Heifer is actually April 1st. And, we had been watching this Friday, Saturday thing, but guess what, everybody? That had to do with the Friday, Saturday Sabbath PSYOP, where they act like it takes place on, Sabbaths are on Fridays or Saturdays or something like that. So they had a false Red Heifer Sabbath date because they run this false Sabbath is on Friday or Saturday narrative. So we're going to be taking a look at the calendar and seeing where that Red Heifer Sabbath actually takes place. And so if they were to do it on that actual Sabbath, that's coming up. That's going to be starting tomorrow night at sundown on April Fool's Day.
That's correct. And obviously we've got new music again. And thanks to everyone that tuned in. Please share the content and leave a comment below. Let us know what you think. We're always interested in hearing from the audience to get your perspective. It's what we truly want.
Yeah, so this might be a little bit quicker of a hangout, but let's go ahead and get into it. Be right back, y'all.
I've been holding on to dreams I'd had since I was young, but never thought that I would be up in lights in front of everyone. 'Cause all of this time I've been running wild, saying I'm fine, hiding behind a smile. But those days are gone. You brought me home and back to life. Oh, that I've been through brought me beside you. I know I should take the leap, but I've been burned and bruised, got lost when life was tearing me apart. Yeah, you can write your name on my paper heart. On my paper heart. Oh yeah, yeah. On my paper heart. On my paper heart. I was scared to fall, so I built these walls in my promised land. Always thought that I would be on my own, no one could understand. 'Cause all of this time I've been running wild, saying I'm fine, hiding behind a smile. But those days are gone. You brought me home and back to life. Yeah. Oh, that I've been through brought me beside you. I know I should take the leap, but I've been burned and bruised, got lost when life was tearing me apart. Yeah, you can write your name on my paper heart. On my paper heart. Oh yeah. On my paper heart. Oh yeah. On my paper heart. Yeah. Been burned and bruised, got lost when life was tearing me apart. Yeah, you can write your name on my paper heart.
We are back and with some possible bad news, y'all. At least for us in Texas. So, like I was saying before, we are in the 10-day forecast now, so we can start to see the forecast for Monday, April 8th. And boy, look at this. If you look at, this is windy.com. If you look at the cloud cover map for, in the morning, 11 a.m., this is when we would be wanting to set up for watching the eclipse. It looks like the whole state of Texas is going to be in cloud cover for the eclipse. So it's not even so far like we would be able to get up and drive towards like Eagle Pass or drive towards Dallas or the Oklahoma border where they have the nuclear guys set up, right? So this is not looking all that good for us to be able to go and witness this eclipse, which for us is a disappointment. We're photographers. We made a big point of going to the one in 2017, and so we're happy. We were excited that there was another total American eclipse that was going to be taking place going right past where we are in Texas, and now we're starting to have to deal with maybe a little bit of disappointment as far as being able to check this out. What do you have to say, brother?
Well, I sort of thought it might be a possibility due to the time of the year. And Ryan Hall was one of the first, or Dibbler, one of the other channels that covers in his network, was saying that the northern area is definitely going to be clouded out, but it looks like the entire American path is going to be clouded out that day. We'll see. It could change. It could change,
yeah.
But Yahawashai has plans. If he doesn't want it to be seen, it's not going to be. There's nothing we can do.
Yeah, so there's a number of topics that are things that I guess people are getting worried about. There's all these announcements of declaring these like disaster areas already for a number of things. So let's go ahead. There was a video that came out that sort of summarizes them all, and it's like a Simpson prediction type video. Let's go ahead and check this out and then talk about all these different things that are supposed to be like culminating in this eclipse.
This is not another Simpson prediction. This is breaking news. States are taking extreme measures for the solar eclipse on April 8th. This is set to be the last solar eclipse for 2 decades. While solar eclipse events are not rare and happen once a year everywhere throughout the world, it is rare to be able to view them here in the United States. This particular solar eclipse has brought some strange preparations in states set to be able to view the eclipse. Schools are being canceled on April 8th in parts of Texas. National Guards are being deployed. 22 members of the elite chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear units will be housed in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. 110 to 150 additional highway patrol units are being sent to the area, in addition to 150 extra first responders. Residents are being urged to stock up with 2 weeks of food supply, fill tanks of gas, and are being warned that communication facilities could be overloaded, making cell phone calls impossible during this event. While officials are reporting that these are precautionary measures in anticipation of extremely large crowds, many are left speculating if there could be another reason behind these emergency preparations.
Well, there you go. What do you think, brother? Simpsons have done pretty good in their predictions before. Now, I know that somebody just put this one together, and that probably wasn't a real episode, right?
Yeah, it was made with AI probably. But that's what's being broadcast. The broken bow preparations, the nuclear hazmat team, supposedly the EMP scare, as well as tornado updates. We had a tweet that was covered a long time ago that was talking about the possibility of tornadoes all along the path of totality. So we also know that Earth storms do kick up. In the last total solar eclipse that happened here, Harvey was maybe a week later.
Mm-hmm.
So we're expected to see weather anomalies. Could be great earthquakes. The Great Lakes could be fractured. We could have a giant earthquake where Lake Michigan ends up washing down most of the United States. So we were watching and anticipating all that.
Yeah, that those seismic zones, hearing a lot about that. There's another video from one of the watchmen where they're talking, who are the people that are talking about this eclipse coming up? Well, You've got the Rapture Watch community that's talking about it. You also have the just the whole prophecy group, the people that are watching the red heifer thing that's taking place over in Israel. And everybody's talking about the biblical fulfillment of the end times. And, at least the people that are watching world events and comparing it to the scriptures. So this is a rapture watchman that we've been against, because the rapture is a false doctrine. But here are the things that they are pointing out as far as mind-blowing revelations that happen with the April 8th eclipse. Now, we'll go through and we'll straighten some of these out. Not all of this is accurate, but here are 20 different topics related to this eclipse here.
2024. Now, this video was highly requested by you guys, and there's a lot of information in this video, so stick around to the end. And I truly believe this video will prove to you that the Most High is communicating a major message to the world and the United States of America with this upcoming solar eclipse. So family, let's get into these mind-blowing revelations. Number 1, 7 Salems. So, the August 21st, 2017 Great American Solar Eclipse actually traveled through 7 towns or cities in the United States by the name of Salem. And in case you didn't know, Salem is actually short for Jerusalem. The solar eclipse traveled through Salem, Oregon, Idaho, Wyoming, Nebraska, Missouri, Kentucky, and finally here in South Carolina. And family, since this 2017 solar eclipse, look at everything that's happened in Jerusalem, Israel, guys. I don't think it's a coincidence. Now to the second revelation, 7 years apart. So the August 21st, 2017 and the April 8th, 2024 solar eclipse come almost 7 years apart, which I believe is a firm foreshadow of the time of Jacob's trouble, the tribulation. Now to number 3, X marks the spot. So the 2017 and 2024 eclipses appear to mark an X over the United States of America. At the point where the two eclipses totality meet up, it makes an X over America, and the place where they meet up is literally named Little Egypt. X marks the spot.
All right, I got to cut in here. We went there, so we know that what he's saying there is not true. Carbondale is much closer to the actual intersection than where that Little Egypt, that city is Cairo, Illinois, which is a terrible, terrible place. We went and checked it out. It was literally the worst slum either Ronnie and I had ever seen in North America. And I guess it's because it's an area that constantly gets flooded because it's at the intersection of a couple big rivers there, and the city keeps on getting flooded, so it's not a place to really build. And if there is a big earthquake there, that city is absolutely going to get washed away. Now, Carbondale is farther north. What was actually closer to the center of this eclipse was, what was the name of that city, brother? It was with an A.
Alto Pass.
Alto Pass. Yeah, and it just so happens that out there was this giant cross on a mountain that was right in our view when we were watching the eclipse, right? But now we might not get that opportunity again if we get clouded out.
Alright, family, now to number 4, Eagle Pass entry. Okay, so check this out. The April 8th solar eclipse will travel through Eagle Pass, Texas. Eagle Pass will be the first town to witness totality for the solar eclipse. And family, I find this ironic because over recent months, Eagle Pass, Texas has become ground zero for the southern border crisis. And here we got this solar eclipse making its entry at Eagle Pass. That's not a coincidence, family. Now to number 5, Rapture, Indiana. Now family, oddly enough, this eclipse will also travel through a township by the name of Rapture, Indiana. I didn't even know there was a town in the United States by the name of Rapture. I just find that to be very cool, guys. And in the township of Rapture, Indiana, the solar eclipse will last 3 minutes and 51 seconds. My question to you is this: could this be a sign of the rapture? Let us know in the comment section below.
I don't think city names
6, Days of Noah.
are how it works.
So, the April 8th solar eclipse will also travel through Williamston, Kentucky, home of the Ark Encounter, which is a modern-day replica of Noah's Ark. Now, the Ark Encounter will see the sun eclipsed at 98%. Family, you know what this makes come to my mind? As in the days of Noah. Now to number 7. The sign of Jonah in the heavens. Now, just as the 2017 solar eclipse passed through 7 Salems, the April 8, 2024 solar eclipse will pass through 7 cities or towns by the name of Nineveh and one town named Jonah.
It's so crazy how contradictory and double-minded and double-speaked this whole entire United States of American rapture watching community is. They're constantly calling out how the rapture is a judgment against the USA, that it's the most blasphemous country in the world, and yet the majority of the country is filled with biblical Christian named towns with a Bible Belt where the majority of the population actually still goes to church and worships the Creator. Now, albeit they've removed so many of the important books and they don't know the true names. They're far from reading a lot of what's important, but at least they still do believe. And that's a lot more than I can say for the rest of the entire world. And the fact that there's 8 Ninevehs in the path, it speaks for itself.
Yeah, the United States is like the most Christian nation in the world, I guess. I don't know who would be more.
There's not. And it was founded upon Christianity, including the people who named and built the towns. Albeit it is being destroyed and eroded away as obviously Azazel had planned.
Yeah, but there's a lot of countries way older than the United States that are deeply rooted in the satanic occult. Satanism. And yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It will pass through Nineveh, Texas, Missouri, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and finally, New York. And family, also want to note, it will also pass through Nineveh, Nova Scotia, making it 8 Ninevehs it will pass through. And interestingly enough, this solar eclipse will happen under the Cletus constellation, also known as the Whale constellation. Now, what's the odds of that, considering Jonah was stuck in the belly of a whale for 3 days? I believe this solar eclipse is the modern day sign of Jonah and a 40-day warning to the United States. Now to number 8, 40-day warning to expire on Pentecost. Now, if the April 8th...
All right, so there's
incorrect.
Yeah, there's a big problem with 40 days to Pentecost from this eclipse where we're not even, April 9th is going to be the first day of Nisan, so...
Well, it's 50 days from the first wave offering, and that's the count of the Omar, and every Christian should know that, including a so-called watchman. You should absolutely know that you don't start counting the 50-day count to Shavuot, which is 50 days.
Yeah, so not all 20 of these mind-blowing revelations are accurate. Some of them are absolutely wrong as well.
2024 solar eclipse is a 40-day warning to the United States of America. That means that warning will expire on Pentecost 2024.
Wrong.
Interesting, right? Now to Revelation number 9, the body of Christ intersection. So family, check this out. If you take the paths of the October 2023 solar eclipse and the April 8th solar eclipse, the spot they meet is called Corpus Christi, Texas, which literally means the body of Christ. Now family, what is the odds of that? Could that mean that the body of Christ is about to be removed? Who knows? Let us know in the comment section below. Now the number
That's not
10,
what the Bible foretells.
Elijah's birthplace. Now this is interesting. Check this out. So, if you take the paths of the 2017 and 2024 total solar eclipses, the exact point where they meet up for totality is Gilead Church Road. Now,
so
Gilead
hang on.
was Elijah's
Pause.
birthplace.
Let's do this right. Okay, everybody that's tuned in, this is what a true watchman does. Let's correct it. Jason, if you click on the link in the chat, the very last link that I put in, it was actually called the Bald Knob Cross. It's in Alto Pass. And this is the actual cross. The city was named Alto Pass. It has a big cross in it, including a giant cross. Okay, this is where the intersection between the two eclipses are. Not what Watchmen It opened in the wrong spot.
Yeah, I'm
The so-called.
figuring it out.
See, they wanted to have some Babylonian mystic connection to Egypt when Little Egypt is the most rundown, disgusting town I'd ever seen. And they're all missing the actual crossing spot with a giant built-in cross where we spent our time 7 years ago. So here's the actual cross, right? And I don't know if you just search Alto Pass Cross, you'll get the actual location on the map, and people can witness that this was actually set up in the spot where the two eclipses perfectly cross.
Do you remember the pig story related to this? We covered that one time. Yeah, just when I click on their About Us, they literally have a tab.
The pig story.
The pig story. Yeah.
If you search Alto Pass, you're going to get the actual location. And, it's just crazy. This is all that these watchmen do is they purposely try to mislead everybody so that you don't know the truth. It's crazy. It's some days are easy. Some days are a lot harder, but yeah, Bald Knob, Alto Pass. I don't think that's it. Alto Pass. You just type in, I don't think it's, there it is. This is the cross where the two eclipses perfectly match. And it was amazing to film the first one from, super clear. And we were across the bay, and you can show everybody now. So we stayed in Anna, which is just south from there. It left the stage. That's the spot.
There we go.
And so now you can go south, and you can actually show everybody how far away Little Egypt is. It's nowhere near the cross.
Yeah, so right. There's the Bald Knob up there.
We stayed in Anna. And when we came down, we drove and stopped in Cairo, Little Egypt, and it was the most disgusting thing I had ever seen. I wanted to get out of this little area as fast as I possibly could.
Yeah, but you can
safe.
Yeah, you can see the issue. Here's the Ohio River. Here's the Illinois and Mississippi River over here. So anytime these rivers overflow, they're going to wash out Cairo, right? It's
in a flood zone.
Absolutely. This is the worst place you could possibly build.
It's just run down, and it's nowhere near the ultimate totality crossing spot. That's where we found that you had searched and located. And it was in this area, and then we happened to come across the vantage point across the valley here. We weren't at the Bald Knob. We were to the east, probably 4 miles. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, well,
we did go
from this location right here,
where this picture is being taken from. Exactly. And this was the vantage point. And in the city of Alto Pass, there's literally the cross. The city is founded on a cross, right? It was designed for the eclipse, but everybody wants to talk about Cairo, and no Christian actually wants to talk about this spot. It just amazes me.
Mm-hmm. So we got maybe a couple more things he's going through here. So all these mind-blowing revelations. There's a couple that are real that we're going to talk about. A couple that not real.
Now, family, many people, including myself, believe that Elijah will be one of the two witnesses. Could this be a sign that the witnesses are about to come on the scene? Family, who knows? Now to number 11. Aleph Tav, Alpha and Omega. So family, if you take the 2017, 2023, and 2024 solar eclipse paths, you'll notice they make the symbols Aleph Tav over the United States of America.
And posit
means
again, they've got to disinform everything. There's no V. There was no V in Paleo Hebrew. It's Ah and Ta. That's it. There's no V and there's no Aleph. It's just Ah and Ta. It'd be like saying Abba and a Zedev instead of A and Z, just to show the ridiculousness of these characters. But they want to promote the Yiddish.
Yeah.
Beginning and the end. Now to number 12, fault lines, and this one right here is interesting. Now,
this one might be interesting.
The 2017,
it could.
2023, and 2024 eclipse pass all meet up on fault lines. Now, what is the odds of that?
Oof.
One of them being the New Madrid fault line, which we'll get back to in a minute. And another being the
That's right where that Cairo, Illinois is. Exactly. And then the Cascadia, then we've got a number of people that have talked about the things that would happen in Seattle, that kind of stuff. If there was a big earthquake up there.
Mm-hmm.
Cascadia Seduction Zone. And the last fault line will be the Balcones fault line. And
Balcones.
Now, family, what's the odds of these 3 eclipses?
And that's the first one that it crosses, right?
Yeah.
Number 13.
And both of those stars were off.
So, the eclipses of 2017 and 2024 almost intersect at the same pass of the 1806 and 1811 solar eclipses.
Now, I thought this was interesting. So, if you can't see it, this is September 17th, 1811. And this is June 16th, 1806. And look at where this cross is. This is like pretty much over. Yeah, Toronto, right over your hometown, right there, right?
Ooh. Yeah, maybe even a little north, actually, Barrie, Aurora area, where I actually grew up. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't see that.
Yeah, isn't this cool?
On the New Madrid fault line. Now, that's the 1806 to 1811 solar eclipses you see on your screen right there. And right after them eclipses, oh boy. 3 months following those eclipses, the New Madrid fault line released some of the most powerful earthquakes ever recorded.
That's what they said
for this, people.
Yeah.
2017 and 2024 solar eclipse pass follow a similar pass of the 1806 and 1811 solar eclipses that caused the earthquakes. So family, I firmly believe that this upcoming eclipse is a firm warning to the New Madrid fault line that it's about to be woke up again. Now to
I can see that.
14, cross over America. Now family, we have talked about the 3 eclipses making the Aleph Tav over America. Well, the Tav symbol was made by the 2017 and 2024 solar eclipses. Well, that Tav symbol is sometimes depicted by a cross, especially in early Hebrew. So this eclipse literally puts a cross over the United States of America. Interesting, right? Now to 15, CERN eclipse.
So it's actually like a tent peg, but we can continue.
CERN eclipse. This is a interesting headline, huh?
South. According to the Daily Mail, CERN to test world's most powerful particle accelerator during April's solar eclipse to search for invisible matter that secretly powers our universe.
Not a universe.
Family, I don't think it's by chance that CERN is going to fire up during this solar eclipse.
Invisible.
We will talk about this further in tomorrow's End Time News Update, so be looking for that video. Now to number 16, solar eclipse, state of emergency. So family, many states including Texas, Oklahoma, Indiana, parts of New York have declared a state of emergency ahead of the April 8th total solar eclipse. And family, there's many reasons they're doing this. One of the reasons being they're expecting a large influx in travelers to certain areas that's going to put a strain on the infrastructure. They say it could delay 911 calls and everything else. So that state of emergency that's being declared, that's a lot of the reason. Now to number 17, solar eclipse, school closings. So, thousands of schools across the United States are closing for the day or dismissing early due to the solar eclipse, giving many young children the chance to see God's sign in the sky. The school that Missy works at, they're dismissing like an hour or two before the eclipse so the kids can get home safely and see it. Let us know where you're watching from and what your school district's going to do in regards to the solar eclipse in the comment section below. I'm really curious. Now to 18. And 18 is travel delays. Due to the solar eclipse, the FFA
This is interesting.
That delays are to be expected from April 7th to April 10th, 2024. Over those 3 or 4 days, guys, there's going to be a lot of cancellations and delays. If you're going to be traveling that time, keep that in mind. Now let's jump to number 19.
Cancellations and delays.
And the
There just isn't that many people that hop on an airplane to fly into the path of totality. I mean, you'll have people that'll be willing to drive, 100 miles, maybe even 200 miles. But the amount of people that are going to jump on an airplane to get to totality is going to be a very small number. I mean, that's not going to drive the the delays.
Planets aligned. Now, family, a month ago, I dropped this video right here, and we discussed how there's
That's
going
luminaries.
to be a once-in-a-lifetime planetary parade going on while the solar eclipse is happening. Now, family, what is truly the odds of that going down during a solar eclipse?
That's not
It
real.
does happen.
This is truly
Happens
a
a lot. The
once-in-a-lifetime event. After this video, if you want to go back and watch that video, we published that video on February 22nd. And finally, to number 20, the Devil's Comet soars. And this is an interesting one right here. And we've talked about this on this channel a couple times already. You can also go back and find them videos, family. Now, this comet is 3 times the size of Mount Everest, and during the April 8th solar eclipse, when the sun is darkened, the Devil's Comet, which comes around every 71 years, could very well be visible, just adding to the wonder of this upcoming solar eclipse.
You're not going to see
You
the
could
devil
literally be
horns.
watching the solar eclipse and
We'll
see
look
the
for it,
Devil's
but
Comet at the same time. Guys,
we're hoping to actually just be able to see the eclipse. It might be cloudy.
It's called the
Clouded
Devil's
out.
Comet because it's exploded like 3 times and it's giving it the appearance of having horns on it. Now, family, that was 20 mind.
There you go. 20 mind blown. Well, not all of them were real. Some of them weren't real. But those are some of the topics that are being brought up in association with this eclipse coming up. Let's see here. What else we got?
So
we do.
the red heifer update. We got the CERN talk about here.
Yeah. So CERN was one of the things that he mentioned. They're said to test the world's most powerful particle accelerator during April's solar eclipse to search for invisible matter that secretly powers our universe.
That's crazy. Can you show me some evidence of the particles? No,
No.
because it's fake. It's CGI, right?
You see a gray dot on the screen.
That's it. They turned it on and they cheered at a gray. No one was allowed to touch the screen because of the gray dot. But they do have this massive computer that they've built. There's many theories. I do believe I'd sent you a link, but if you're reading the content here, I'll let you read it. But so what does it say that the experiment is scheduled to do?
To occur the same day as the Great North American Solar Eclipse.
What they're proposing to do is smash supposed protons together and be able to discover the dark energy that supposedly makes up the entire observable universe, but it's not observable.
Yeah, and then I think there was one more thing that they were saying that, let's see, the LHC is typically used just 1 month each year, but has been shut down over long periods for upgrades. It was last turned off in 2022 during Europe's energy crisis, so hasn't been on since 2022. They say it's only used once a month each year, and then after this run, it does say that they plan on shutting it down for a couple more years somewhere in the article. So
Yeah.
it's really just for this solar eclipse that we're getting all these turn it on.
But yeah, go to the link to the left, and I think that it gives you people a little bit more of an understanding. Or this link, if you want to explain what this is.
Yeah, well, this is CERN, right? So advanced computing, a central role in the fulfillment of CERN's mission. And when you read about it, it says CERN is one of the most highly demanding computer environments in the research world. The World Wide Web was originally conceived and developed at CERN.
Interesting.
So, yeah, if you're conceived and developed the worldwide internet, don't you think it's like a big computer?
Yeah, and you get the www, or you could say the 666, the va va va, in Yiddish.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then quantum technology, they talk about,
It's not real, right?
Not real.
Anything that's not observable is not real. Satellites and other things that they tell us are real, just like the double slit experiment is not real, right? It's a thought experiment, but CERN definitely has a super large computer. Now, I theorize that they use it to run predictions and simulations so that they can try to predict and or change the future. But the problem is that every time they try to do it, the only thing that ends up happening is it actually super intensifies the Father's actual will. So the more they fire this thing up, that's why they haven't been using it. Worse and worse things start to go for them. So they've had it shut off. And, are they trying to open up the pit, the key to the extra dimensional space where fallen angels are being kept? If you reference the Book of Enoch and many other extra canonical books, you start to understand that there is a supposed key that's given for this type of unlock, and there's a good chance that it's related to CERN.
All right, so their future here, a continuing program of upgrades and consolidations to the LHC and the experiments at CERN will result in hugely increased ICT demands in the coming years, exceeding what is expected to be achievable with a constant investment budget by several factors in both storage and computing capacity. With the high luminosity LHC, HLLHC comes online in 2029, the storage and processing requirements are expected to be 10 times greater than today. So,
well, more storage, more processing, larger computer, better predictions.
Storage and processing. So it's computer upgrades. Exactly what you were saying, brother.
But I don't think they're gonna get to that. But we'll continue.
Yeah. So there was let's see. We've talked about
the red heifer time.
Yeah, maybe we'll just quickly throw in this Apep rocket, and yeah. So that's what they're calling it. If you do NASA 3 rockets, you're gonna see graphics like this. And they're really bad. Like I want to show you here. If we go to the solar eclipse to see NASA send rockets into moon shadows, this is what we're getting from NASA regarding this Apep thing coming up. It's 2024 and this is what we get.
The CGI, right? And also, Apep is also pronounced and spelled Apepi or Apophysis, which is an ancient Egyptian Kabbalistic satanic darkness demon.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
Also known as the Egyptian lowercase g god of chaos. So I'm just bringing that out. So during the eclipse, NASA is performing a satanic Kabbalistic Egyptian ritual to the god of chaos while they turn on CERN, huh?
Absolutely. So I find this graphic weird. I was trying to come up with stuff for tonight's hangout, and I saw this one. So this is the whole Apep, NASA to launch rockets during solar eclipse. But here they got 3 on each side and 1 in the center. It says NASA is preparing to launch 3 atmospheric perturbations around eclipse path. There's your Apep. Atmospheric perturbations around eclipse path. That is horrible.
It sounds like they're going to pull something off with these. But I don't believe that they actually have these rockets. I think they're balloons with fancy sound systems.
They're perturbations.
I don't believe that they're projectiles. I think they're helium-filled floating objects.
That makes a lot more sense.
Slowly rise into the sky like a balloon.
All right, and then the last topic's going to be when the real Sabbath of the red heifer is.
So, I did have a huge red flag when we covered it, and I was saying to everybody, is this the actual red heifer Sabbath date or sacrifice date? And lo and behold, Jason, you've found the information that it was.
Yeah, well, somebody else was covering it. He's got a terrible channel name, in my opinion. This is
this Rapture guy. I remember.
Yeah, Dunamis 333.
No,
that's horrible channel name, in my opinion.
I'm surprised it's not 333-777 though.
Yeah, but he does have this up on the screen here where it says, "When must the ashes of the red heifer be ready for use?" And it says here by Shabbat Parah. Right, the Parah, that is the Sabbath of the red heifer, and he's got this date, the 22nd of Adar 2. It's actually not not Adar 2. But then he has 1st of April 2024. All right, so I just want to play this clip for you. He's got a calendar up here, which remarkably is accurate. You just don't see that anymore. But let's check this out.
For then Israel will finally be born of the Spirit of God when they accept the Lord Jesus Christ as their Messiah. So, my brothers and sisters, this is where we are right now. When must the ashes of the red heifer be ready for use? Now, according to the calendar here, they're meant to do it on Friday, 29th.
All right, so notice what you're seeing here on the screen. This comes from like Wikipedia. I've got, this is a Torah calendar site, I think. It shows the list of the Shabbat Paras in the years, 23, 24, 25. And notice how every single one of the Shabbat Paras are beginning at a Friday in the evening and ending at a Saturday in the evening. Can you explain? Can you tell everybody why that's impossible?
So yeah, likened unto your birthday, that's never on the same day 2 years in a row, right? Because it's mathematically impossible. So the Sabbaths actually follow the new moon, right? When we spot that, and then the count begins. 1st, 8th, 15th, and then 29th?
8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th.
22nd. Sorry, 22nd, 29. And those can be on any satanic name day of the week, from Monday to Sunday. Any day could be those different dates. And it changes every month, just about. It's rarely the same. So to have it on a Saturday and a Friday is just as ridiculous as people thinking that Christ was crucified on a Friday and then he rose on a Sunday every single year. And not only that, that's not even 3 days and 3 nights in the grave.
Yeah, so he is going to show a calendar coming up.
Saturday, they meant to do it. It's called Shabbat Para. However, according to the calendar, this is the calendar here. This is the last month that we're in, the last year of the...
All right, they're calling it Adar 2. It's not. But first...
To them it is, because they did it incorrectly last year.
Yeah, 1st of Adar 2 to them is on March 11th. Let's go ahead and grab calendar here and show everybody that this is what we were saying, that on March 11th there was a new moon sighting. It was actually the 12th. They're calling it the 13th month, but the new moon sighting was on 3/11. That's really important, because then you're going to see how we have here Sabbath on the 8th day, Sabbath on the 15th. Now this lined up with the lunar eclipse. We have Sabbath on the 22nd. That it happens at April 1st at sundown. And then we have Sabbath on the 29th. And that is April 8th, the day of the solar eclipse, at sundown. So if we go back, go ahead.
So the last Sabbath before the solar eclipse is the 22nd.
Yes. Yes, okay. Yeah. So he's going to show here these. This is when Sabbaths actually are taking place. He's got it, the 8th, the 15th, Shusham Purim, right? He's got Purim, the correct date here, except it wasn't Adar 2.
I said that the Sabbath days are the 8th, 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th of Adar.
He's got it.
The day that they need to do have the ashes ready to be for purification is the 1st of April.
He's got it.
2nd of Adar. This date is the Shabbat Para.
And so
if you look here,
it's a Talmudic name, but it's actually found in Leviticus, the actual scripture. And it doesn't need to be televised. It wasn't, the commandment was pretty simple.
Yeah, so he's going to show from this. It's like a Wikipedia list of the different Shabbats.
Just can't see it that clearly.
Shabbat Para.
He's using a tablet.
It says Shabbat Para of the red heifer.
All right, so if that's not coming through real good, we've got it on Wikipedia. So the Shabbat Para, Sabbath of the red heifer, takes place on the Shabbat preceding Shabbat HaKodesh in preparation for Passover. This is the scriptures about the red heifer purification
Yahwistic.
ritual.
Sorry. I said Yahwistic. That was pretty funny. Do you want to pull that scripture up and we can just read it here real quick? Rather than read the Wikipedia, let's go to the actual source.
Yeah, the water of cleansing.
Read.
The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "This is a requirement of the law that the Lord has commanded. Tell the Israelites to bring you a red heifer without defect or blemish that has never been under a yoke."
Hold on. He did not say tell the Jews that live in the land called Israel. He told the descendants of Jacob, Abraham, and Isaac to do this.
Yeah. Give it to Eleazar the priest. It is to be taken outside the camp and slaughtered in his presence. Then go ahead.
Let's just slow down. So the key factors is to be outside of the tent of encampment, right? That's where the Holy of Holies is. That would be your temple, right? But it was a moving temple because it was a tent, which is also symbolic with tabernacles. And it had to be done so the priest had to witness it, but we're going to get into a little bit more detail here.
Then Eleazar the priest is to take some of its blood on his finger and sprinkle it 7 times towards the front of the tent of meeting. While he walked...
Now we're going to take a bit of the blood, the priest, and he's going to go back to where it would be modern day Shiloh. But that's probably wrong. Because everything the so-called Jews do is incorrect, right? Or they just forecast or broadcast the incorrectness. So this is key. The blood, not all of it had to be burnt up and ashed. The blood had to be taken and then sprinkled onto the tent.
Yeah. While he watches, the heifer is to be burned, its hide, flesh, blood, and intestines. The priest is to take some cedar wood, hyssop, and scarlet wool and throw them onto the burning heifer. After that...
burn some cedar wood. Not that bad. We got lots of cedar here. It causes a lot of sneezing.
The whole hide, flesh, all that kind of stuff. Interesting.
Yeah.
After that, the priest must wash his clothes and bathe himself with water. He may then come into the camp, but he will be ceremonially unclean till evening. The man who burns it must also wash his clothes and bathe with water, and he too will be unclean till evening. The man who is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer and put them in a ceremonially clean place outside the camp. They are to be kept in the Israelite community for use in the water of cleansing. It is for purification from sin.
So as the people would come into the tent to worship, right? So this is what you have modern day Catholicism with their vases outside where people dip their hands in the water. But this is the actual way that it was commanded to be done with purification. And you had to have the ashes from the red heifer, and then they were to be sprinkled on as you walk into the tent of meeting, right? And then the smoke would enter in. I mean, how amazing it truly was compared to what we have today. We'll be showing you in the next section what today's supposed ceremony was like.
Should I keep reading here? Or?
I think, yeah, just finish it off. You're almost done. Thanks.
The man who gathers up the ashes of the heifer must also wash his clothes, and he too will be unclean till evening. This will be a lasting ordinance both for the Israelites and for the foreigners residing among them.
So this is Goyim and Gentile and Jew alike, supposedly, right? It's for everyone. Isn't that interesting? Because everyone always says that the Elohim of the Israelites was a racist Elohim, but it's clearly, he clearly is not. Clearly.
Should I keep going with this?
It continues on with more law type things. That's good. I just wanted everybody to understand that. So this was an actual biblical thing. It's not it's not made up in the, what do you call them? The oral law. It's not some Maimonides. This is actual Mosaic, right? Aaron. This was a Levitical rite that was to be done. So, because the destruction of the temple, there's been no descendants of Aaron to do these types of purification ceremonies. It's not done.
Yeah, so we're reading here the Shabbat of the Parara. This is the red heifer. Numbers is the scriptures about the red heifer ceremony. And then it's said here, takes place on the Shabbat preceding Shabbat HaKodesh. So obviously when's
Hakodesh? Does that mean New Year?
So the Sabbath HaKodesh, meaning Sabbath of the month, takes place on the Shabbat preceding the first of the Hebrew month of Nisan, or on the first of Nisan itself, if it falls on a Shabbat.
It's a New Year's celebration.
Well, this is the last Sabbath of the year is what it is. Takes place on the Shabbat preceding the first of the Hebrew month of Nisan. So if we bring up the calendar, and we can compare this to this other guy's calendar as well. But like we have here, we had the new moon on 3/11. That's when it was sighted. And then we have Sabbath at the sundown on 3/18. That would be the first Sabbath of the month. We have the Sabbath that was at 3/25. That would be the 15th day during that lunar eclipse. The 22nd day is at sundown, right? This is April 1st. This is that April Fool's, the third Sabbath of the month, where the last Sabbath is on the 29th. That's April 8th. So
That's HaKodesh.
yeah, it's HaKodesh. So we are not, and then the new moon, the first month, Abib, Nisan, whatever you want to call it, is April 9th at sundown. So
That's the Happy New Year time.
yeah, absolutely. So we are, this April Fool's Day is the Red Heifer Day, and that's the 1 week thing until the solar eclipse. So it's pretty exciting in my opinion.
It definitely needed to be documented and shared, and as correct as we possibly can. That's our job. We've been about sharing the truth and documenting it, making sure that everybody hear ye. You know, let it be known that the actual red heifer sacrifice is April 1st, April Fool's Day. And if they actually pull it off, they are the true April Fools of all April Fools.
Yeah, and then maybe you can mention here, so we've got April 9th, the first new moon. Then we get out here to Sabbath that we have on 4/23 sundown. We have this the 15th. You want to tell people about a study that we're going to be coming out with soon?
Well, just understanding when twilight is. So if we look at the fact that the celebration or the actual Passover itself was actually the day before the Sabbath, right? It was commanded unto Moses that he shall keep it on the 14th at twilight.
Twilight
Is the time. And when you understand it in a parabolic way, it makes much more sense to understand that first there came night and then there came day, right? So everything that Yahawah has done, everything Yahawashai has done, has all been throughout the scriptures parabolically linked to the creation story. So you'll understand. And most importantly, the 14th was also the day that Adam was created and died. Right? So, and you also have Christ's death. Now, we don't speculate. There's a good chance that he was born here, but there's also a good chance that people point to tabernacles. But the two festivals are very likened because the inns were completely filled up, right? There was no room in Bethlehem for Mary to get a room to deliver Christ. Those 2 times of the year, well, there's 3 times. Shavuot, which is the 50-day count after the first wave offering. And then you have tabernacles. But there's a very good chance that Christ was exactly like Adam in every single way. And it's a very deep study, right, Jay? Like, it's going to take us a bit more time to iron out everything that needs to be completely put together. But suffice it to say that so the twilight, this is where we were wrong. Right. So we thought that 14th at sundown, I thought that you would eat the lamb before the sunset going into the Passover, which would be on the Sabbath. But it's actually the 14th, which was actually the day of preparation leading up to the entire week of unleavened bread. So you get multiple dinners, multiple feasts, all aligned, and that it's been sort of incorrectly put together in the scriptures as all considered one Passover thing, when it's actually 7 and 8 different times. So it is a pretty advanced study, but I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So all that, you know, I'm just letting everybody know that the 4/22 right here, go ahead and take that day off as well. If you were taking off days for Passover, we are going to be adding some detail here, and I just go ahead and have the 22nd off here as well. All right.
Yeah, and then the whole week, if you can get it. But again, we're not under the law anymore.
No.
Right? Your heart condition, and your relationship with the Creator and His Son. That's what's super important, right? Because Moses said, "I'm going to send one after me. Him you must hear, or your salvation shall be cut off." And Christ literally came and said, "I am He that Moses spoke of." And unfortunately, most of the people denied him, and still to this very day deny him. And they call him Earth Pig, right? Geo meaning earth, and sus meaning pig, is the way that the Luciferians or the Jesuits were able to get the fake name Jesus instead of it being Geo, because the G sound is how you said earth, Geo. Everybody knows that. And sus is pig. And, it's just crazy that nobody can just see that, hey, wait a minute, the word sus means pig. Like, why would we want to call our Savior a pig?
Yeah, just having the word pig near the Savior's name, there's an obvious issue. Something's not
Huge. It's, for me, if anything, he's the lamb of Yahawashai, not the pig of Yahawashai.
Or the lion of
that's why
Judah.
we care. Yeah, a lamb, lion, spake this way and that. But I just wish that people would be more interested in searching the deeper things within the scriptures. The parabolic studies that we've been doing and have done, and I still want to do. And hopefully that people in the community will comment below and talk about the different lessons that they want to understand, like the wheat and the tares, how the tares are the ones that get bundled up. And Christ told the parable, and what you didn't understand is that because the tares don't have any fruit, right, they don't bow, they don't bend over. So it's real easy to see. It's real easy to see who bows the knee and who doesn't. And we're about to see the group of the wicked be taken from the earth. And sadly, it seems to be a lot of Christians that are going to be taken, but we're going to get into that after.
Yeah, just before we leave, we have Bulgy Gooch in the chat that says, I thought they already did the ritual on the Friday 2 days ago. That's what we were talking about. The Shabbat Parah they were saying was Friday at night to Saturday at night. That's part of the PSYOP, where they pretend that it's possible for Sabbath to be on a Friday and Saturday from month to month, which it's impossible. So yes, they said that it was taking place around this time period, but we showed from the calendar how that's not real, and that the Sabbath actually will be on the third Sabbath of the Parah will be on the 22nd.
It's not on a Friday. It's just so crazy how they get everything wrong. And I think they do it because they believe to be wise, and they're actually made to be fools.
Yeah, so that is April Fool's Day.
Crazy. All this happening on April Fools, as well as the poor Canadians being carbon taxed. Right?
Oh,
it's just insane what they're doing in Canada.
All right, well, let's take a quick break here, and then we'll come back, and you got some tabs, right? Let's go. And we are back.
Now, cherish it. Cherish it, everybody, while you can. Cherish every moment. Learn to find the good in every day. And follow truth. And let me be the first to tell you, hopefully I'm not, this is not Christ. Right? No. This is not Azazel or the adversary, Satan. This is not what he looks like. This is not Mary. This absolutely is not your heavenly Father. Okay? No. No, 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 and no. Right? You know, Jason, I try to explain to people, there's a very good reason why there's very little written about or pictures or drawings about the most influential character in history. Make no second doubts about it. He is, Christ, the most influential human being of all time. It's not even close. He's the Wayne Gretzky of characters and stats. Okay, right? Am I wrong? Am I right?
No. The first, the last.
The first and the last, and all the important ones in between. Okay, that's Christ. And there's a reason why you didn't know what he looked like, because it allows people to formulate their own version of him in their hearts so that they can adapt to him. He does have a look, right? Absolutely. Fiery eyes. And people are going to be shocked when they actually find out what he looks like, including me and Jason and everybody tuned in right now. But just understand that who was this? Giorgio Borgorgia? There's this weird name, this gay, disgusting person that they tried to put that on. Okay. False Christian cults. Okay. And we're going to name a few extra ones. Black Hebrew Israelites. Crazy. Absolutely.
Racist.
Absolutely racist.
Racist.
Okay? If anyone comes to you they have a differentiation between someone due to their color of their skin, they are an absolute abomination. They are. Yahawashai loves every color flower and every color human alike, right? We got Torah roots observers who deny Christ.
Judaizers.
Mormonism. Yeah, Judaizers, right? We got
Judaizers.
Mormonism, also Judaizers. We got
Jehovah's Witnesses.
JWs are on the list, number 5.
No, I mean Freemasons. So the Mormons, that the Smith guy, and then the guy who started the Jehovah's Witnesses, Freemasons.
Mm-hmm. And then obviously the Catholics, right?
Mystery Babylon.
And then Seventh-day Adventists, right? So we can add another level of that. That would be your modern-day rapture saints, right? That's another false Christian cult. And out of all of these, I think that the rapture community might be the worst one, because they're literally proclaiming to be the wicked that's about to get harvested.
The Seventh-day Adventists, they're all about the Sabbath, right? But
Saturday.
Oh.
Like the beaver, follow the beaver, Leland Jones.
29 or 30 days in the month, 7 days a week. So 29 and 30, not divisible by 7. So it's impossible for Sabbath to be the same named day of the week from month to month. Just impossible. Crazy.
So there's a few other things too. You know, all of these different groups here only ascribe to a certain set amount of canon. So the word canon, right, if you don't know, was brought about at the amount of scriptures you would hold a cane beside the books that you read and believed in. And that would be your canon, cane, depending on how high, not cane like the Canaanites, but like a cane that you walk with. So the canon that you ascribe, right? So each of them have their own set groups, and you have what? It was, the Tanakh was like 5 books, and then you have the Catholicism that actually had 72 or 75. They had the most, but they're also the ones that took most of the books out. And 2,000 years ago, you can clearly see that Jude and Peter were both vehemently fighting for the book of Enoch, because the people in that day were saying that it wasn't real. It's not canon. So the truth is that the only true Christian group is those that ascribe to every single heavenly word that proceedeth from the mouth of the Father, and none else. Now, here we go. I mean, come on. This is the second Simpson prediction of the night. Check this out. Homer cutting up the supports. Boom. Lo and behold, Simpsons does it again. So again, what we're getting here is the symbolism of 9/11 again, right? The destruction, the falling down, and you can clearly see that thermite was used. Charges were used to drop this bridge. Jason had brought it up on the Friday night podcast. If you guys haven't tuned in, if you missed that one, let me tell you, as the ship hits this footing, or what do you call it, a pier, a beam, support, right? First off, there's no fenders around it, so it's the only place, and they're allowed to have no tugboats in this one port. So obviously it was set up for this disaster, just like 9/11 was built by the Rockefellers, completely designed in such a way that it can be dropped into its own footprint. This building here, they had the road crew set up thermite cutter charges because they wanted to make sure that they dropped it. Is that correct, Jason?
Absolutely. With a steel structure like that, you would have bent it. It would have come down and landed on the boat, and then that would have been it. Yeah, it would have been bent. Not
completely fallen into its own footprint.
These pieces cut off and detach themselves and continue to shrink into smaller and smaller pieces. It's absurd.
Yeah, almost like as if they were trying to get ready to actually have it removed. So, you know, I find it very interesting the way that they did it. We're going to have to see. Whoever did call it, that there was explosions going off, they were absolutely correct. And I stand corrected if I didn't agree with you. So the timeline to reopen the port of Baltimore, they say, is unclear. And Jason was saying massive salvaging effort underway. And you were saying that basically they got to get guys in and they got to start cutting this thing apart. They got to get underwater divers. They got to get, because obviously they can't wrap thermite around these things publicly and then drop the rest of the pieces because that'd be too obvious, right?
But I did look at the barge. They have a barge that they're promoting, which was built in 1972. That this thing can really pick up and lift some stuff. So I mean, they've got it set up with a barge that they can go in and pick this thing up. Or if they make a couple cuts, they can pick it up, pull this out of the water, set it on other barges, and move it away. No problem. This is actually a really easy cleanup for them. They said that it might be weeks, but it could actually be quicker than that. Because I guess it's actually pretty simple to pick these chunks of metal out with a nice big crane that's a barge. And they've got it there. They just so happen to have it there, right?
Yeah, they've sent, it was in this article earlier, I had seen they've sent multiple barges, multiple cranes that are on barges. And they're going to try to get it as open as fast as possible. Did I just skip that section? Was it up here? Vessel traffic in the area was suspended due to the collapse. 700-foot span of the channel, thousands of tons of debris, which clears the way. Okay, yeah, the Baltimore District Corps activated an emergency operations center, 1,100 engineering, construction, contracting, operations specialists to provide support to local, state, and federal agencies. 50 feet below the surface because there's 12 to 18 inches of clearance between the bottom of the channel. It did say somewhere in here that they were sending these huge ass cranes to try to get it all cleaned up. But and then lo and behold, yesterday, a few days ago, another boat struck another bridge.
Oklahoma.
But it didn't drop it. There it goes. Right. So just like we had the trains being derailed, right? Now we've got the bridges being hit by barges. Apparently this does happen quite often, right, Jay?
Yeah, especially like if there's floods, these barges tend to break loose. They go flying down the river and hit bridges if they're in the way.
Crazy.
And they go into dams and stuff and plug up dams. It's quite a thing.
That's the Bancroft area code right there, 613. Go figure, right? Here's more video of it.
Holy hell!
I mean, it's crazy the psyops that they're running, but they are. Moving on to what I had said earlier, the modern day Levitical priest, supposedly. Look at the face on Pope Francis.
That's a sourpuss.
Face.
That's a sourpuss.
Everybody's supposed to call him your father. I mean, it says in the scriptures, call no man under heaven your father, right? No man. Vatican. It says Pope Francis is scheduled to take part in the Easter Vigil service on Saturday, I guess, as planning his last minute cancellation from the Good Friday procession. right? So something's not right with him. Again, look at this sourpuss on this guy. This guy's saying that the creator is definitely marking him. Look at this face. Here he is rolling himself out in a wheelchair. I guess he's unable to walk, or he's just lazy. What is this burning satanic cross thing? What is that? What are they doing? I tell you, I don't know. Pope Francis overcomes health concerns, presides over blistery Easter Sunday Mass. Just gross. Him like hobbling along what is wrong with his face? We got CERN trending here. Interesting. What is wrong with his
He's
face?
not happy.
So here we get part of the ceremony. Look at how gross this is. Italy, huh?
This is paganism.
The city on 7 hills. One of the two. The other one happens to be Jerusalem. Is that what Christ looked like? Right? Now again, that's Christ now. So that was the sprinkling of the purification water that they're supposed to use the burnt heifer with. But obviously he's sprinkling it on no one because they're clowns. They got the incense altar. So the Catholicism is really actually a Kabbalistic Talmudic practice. They got all these. Look at how gross this is.
They got to have their red bracelets on.
And their tiny hats. Listen, men are not supposed to cover their heads like this. Doesn't mean hair. You know, it's crazy that people say, "Oh, Ronnie, you've got long hair. You're satanic." That's against. I mean, literally, Yahawashai created it to grow on our heads. It's not satanic. Every single hair was created in such a way. But here they are. They're going to eat some bread. And again, everybody, this is not during Passover.
No.
The time when Christ actually did his passion, right? Jay?
No, yeah, it's absolutely. They call it Holy Week, but
Holy Week.
Passover, and April 9th is the first day of Nisan, so we have to get all the way to the full moon, or the day before the full moon, the 14th, that we're going to be doing the Passover dinner.
That's correct. But they're doing it now, way out of time. There's no full moon. They're not celebrating Passover. What do we get? They're doing weird stuff.
It's Easter. This is Easter.
What language? Like, who speaks Latin? I mean, you think you'd want to speak the language everybody can understand.
Descenda super vos et maniat semper.
It's some kind of satanic altar obelisk thing that they got set up here. They probably brought this in from Egypt, right?
Oh, this is Holy Roman Empire here.
Look at this. Look at this setup, and it's pointed in such a way. We got to get someone like RV Truth on to decode all the different Satanism that's going on here. But that's what's going on at the Vatican. Here we got Pope Francis delivers Easter message and blessing to the city and the world. So he's blessing Rome, the city built on 7 hills, praying especially for the Holy Land to Ukraine, Myanmar, Syria, Lebanon, and Africa, as well for listen to this one, Jay, victims of human trafficking and unborn children. Look at that. Now we got him smiling. So I don't know.
He's a creep. He's a creep.
These disgusting people. So did you know that they actually did this and aligned all this with Happy Trans Day of Visibility, Jay? Have you heard this yet?
I heard about that, yeah.
So that's what's going on here. We got happy celebration for Trans Day of Visibility. The post says, if you look really close, you can see that celebrating a transgender today.
He's pointing.
Yeah, and he's pointing at it. So they've actually aligned. They've actually aligned Easter, so the supposed death of Christ, with a transgender celebration holiday. White House bans religious Easter egg on top of that. Designs. You can't have a cross or anything like that on the Easter egg from the National Guard members and their kids. Did you hear about that one?
No.
We got the Ishtar bunny fertility sex goddess thing. And then Trump comes out. Of course, all this has been done so Trump can come out. Statement from Trump campaigns on Joe Biden's blasphemous declaration of Trans Visibility Day on Easter. And remember, Trump is now selling you an American Bible with the stars and stripes on it for $60.
Patriot Bible.
Patriot Bibles, right? He doesn't know one verse, but he's telling you the whole Bible. He says it's his favorite book, he says. It is appalling and insulting that Joe Biden's White House prohibited children from submitting religious egg designs for their Easter art event and formally proclaimed Easter as a trans day of visibility. Sadly, these are just two more examples of Biden's administration's years-long assault on the Christian faith. This is what's going on here. And Trump again slams Biden. And so it's making the rounds. Trump's getting to do it all. You know, how much more blasphemous can we get? How much worse
they're
can
pushing
it
it. It's retarded. It's 100% retarded.
I really can't think of how they could make it more satanic. Moving Passover, changing it to a satanic pagan name like Easter, and then moving it to the day that they celebrate transgenderism.
Yep. That's what
Which
they
again, the creator created man and woman, right? He didn't create Adam Eve, the same name like a Baphomet character. That's not what it was, right? And even the Kabbalic traditions, they actually try to teach that Adam was like that, when absolutely that goes against everything in the scriptures. Eve was created and taken from his rib, the side that Christ was pierced, right? The same spot. So we could get into more, but that's pretty much the description of everything that we wanted to go through today. And I'm just glad we got here and we got to document more of this truth.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we get some breaking news of a red heifer sacrifice with April 1st, we'll be bringing that up. We'll cover that. But April 8th, I mean, this eclipse is going to be a big thing. So
it's sad, and at least we're ready, Jay.
We're ready, but yeah, there's so much tied to it that they might actually, let's say we had bad weather and we drove towards the Texas border to get into what we thought was clear skies, that if they're going to do their PSYOPs with CERN, with the NASA thing, that, you know, we could get stuck hours away from the house where we had to walk home or something. So we're going to be playing it by ear. We just wanted to let everybody start thinking about, all right, if you have bad skies around you, you know, it might make more sense to stay home and watch it from online. We're going to play it by ear. We'll have to see what takes place.
We can still do a stream and maybe go over the last eclipse that we filmed and talk about that and the other eclipse that we filmed this year.
Yeah.
Or I guess, the year hasn't changed yet. We're almost there. We're almost to the next year, but
the real new year. Yes.
Thank you, Jason. And thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope we did our best to bring you the news and the truth.
Absolutely. Well, where's the only place people are going to hear this content, brother?
Only on the Yahawashai News Networks.
If I fall apart again, will you lift me up when my soul's been torn to shreds? And I can't see the light, the dark's been closing in, like a stranger in the night. It still feels like I'm someone else. Am I going crazy? Nothing's making sense, everything's so wrong. It's starting to scare me. I feel you reaching out, but I can't hold on. I know that I'm lost, not a lost cause. Don't wanna be alone when it gets dark. Tunnel vision like I'm stuck in a nightmare. I got demons and they don't fight fair. Save me from myself. Tell me that it's okay when the world comes crashing down. I want you to stay. When there's nothing left and everything falls away, just save me from myself. Tell me that it's okay. okay. If I fall too far from now, will you take my hand and pull me above the clouds? I won't let you down if you show me the way. Before I hit the ground, I just wanna be somewhere else. Save me from myself. Tell me that it's okay when the world comes crashing down. I want you to stay, stay. When there's nothing left and everything falls away, just save me from myself. Tell me that it's okay.